Your brain has a default setting, and that setting is to betray you. It's designed to trade your biggest dreams for the fleeting satisfaction of clearing a notification. By the end of this, you'll understand the precise neurological mechanism that makes an annoying email feel more compelling than your life's work. And the chances are, this ancient wiring is quietly sabotaging your most important goals every single day. We think the battle is between discipline and laziness. That's the story we tell ourselves. The real conflict is between two different parts of your brain fighting over two different timelines. Imagine your brain contains a frantic day trader and a calm long-term investor. The day trader, your limbic system, only cares about the next 5 minutes. It wants immediate profit, quick wins, close the trade, take the gain, feel good right now, answering an email, paying a bill online, watching a short video. These are all quick, profitable trades. Each one gives a tiny, satisfying burst of dopamine, a sense of completion. The board turns green for a second. Your long-term investor, the prefrontal cortex, has a very different strategy. It's trying to build a portfolio for retirement 10, 20, 50 years from now. This is the part of you that wants to write the book, learn the language, start the business. The rewards are enormous, life-changing, but they are also abstract and far in the future. For the day trader brain, a reward you get in 10 years might as well be imaginary. It's worthless on the 5-minute chart. So when you sit down to work on your big important project, the day trader starts screaming. It sees the ambiguity, the effort, the lack of immediate payoff, and it panics. It sees a guaranteed loss for today. So it hijacks the system and finds a quick win to make the feeling go away. This is called temporal discounting. The closer a reward is in time, the more value our brain assigns to it. The tragedy is that the day trader is sitting at the main controls. But this frantic need for immediate reward is only half of the equation. The real driver is something much more primitive. It's about avoiding a specific kind of pain. The feeling is familiar. You look at the big project, the blank page, the complex spreadsheet, and a wave of something uncomfortable washes over you. It could be boredom, anxiety about your own abilities, fear of failure, frustration at the sheer size of the task. Your brain, specifically a little almond-shaped region called the amygdala, codes these negative feelings as a threat. A genuine threat on par with a predator or a physical danger. Your brain's number one job is survival. Its first response to any threat is to make it disappear. And what's the fastest way to make the bad feeling of the difficult task go away? Do something else, anything else. The moment you click away to a different tab, check your phone, or decide to suddenly organize your desk, you get a wave of relief. That relief is the reward. Your brain just learned a powerful lesson. Task equals pain. Avoidance equals relief. Every time you procrastinate, you are actively training your brain to do it again. You're carving a neural pathway that says, when confronted with this kind of work, the correct survival response is to flee. You are literally practicing avoidance. This is why procrastination feels like a compulsion, an unstoppable habit. It is. You've built it, one moment of relief at a time. The cycle becomes automatic. It's an emotional regulation strategy. A very effective one in the short term and a devastatingly costly one in the long term. This explains why we run from the important thing. But it still leaves a question. Why are we so willing to offload the consequences onto the person we will be tomorrow, or next week, or next year? It's because your brain barely recognizes that person as you. Researchers at UCLA put people in an fMRI scanner, a machine that watches the brain work in real time. They asked participants to think about themselves in the present. A specific network of brain regions lit up the network responsible for self-perception. Then, they asked them to think about a stranger, like an actor. A different set of regions activated. Here's the critical part. When they asked participants to think about themselves 10 years in the future, the brain scan looked almost identical to the scan of them thinking about a stranger. Your brain neurologically codes your future self as another person. someone you don't have a strong emotional connection to. This creates a massive empathy gap. It's easy to say, future me will handle it. You're delegating the hard work to a stranger. You imagine this future version of you will be a different being. They'll have more energy, more discipline, more focus. They'll be the person who can handle it. We saddle this stranger with our debts, our health problems, and our most difficult tasks because their suffering feels distant and abstract. The immediate suffering of our present self feels overwhelmingly real. So we sacrifice the stranger for our own immediate comfort. We choose the day trader's relief over the investor's retirement fund because the investor is someone we haven't properly met yet. So our brain is wired for immediate rewards. It runs from emotional discomfort and it sees our future self as a stranger. That's a powerful combination. But there's one final piece of the puzzle, and it has to do with the nature of the tasks themselves. Your brain is not just avoiding the work, it's avoiding the thinking about the work. Think about the urgent tasks you complete without hesitation. Pay electric bill, reply to Susan's email, buy milk. They have something in common. They are clear, discreet, and unambiguous. You know exactly what the steps are. The path from start to finish is visible. Now consider the important tasks you procrastinate on. Get in shape, write a book, find a better job. These are not tasks. They are abstract ambitions. They are shrouded in fog. What is the very first physical action you need to take to get in shape? Is it researching gyms? Buying running shoes? Meal planning? The ambiguity is paralyzing. Your brain is an energy miser. It is hardwired to conserve cognitive resources. Processing ambiguity, making decisions, and planning from a vague starting point consumes a massive amount of energy. The prefrontal cortex has to work hard to turn a fuzzy goal into a sequence of concrete actions. Confronted with this high-energy task of just figuring out what to do, the brain looks for an escape route, and it always finds one. An urgent task sitting right there in your inbox is a beautiful, low-energy, clearly defined path. It requires action, but it doesn't require nearly as much high-level thought. It's a pre-paved road. Your important project is an uncharted forest you have to hack through with a machete. The brain will almost always choose the paved road, even if it leads nowhere you actually want to go. This is why the advice to break it down into small steps is so powerful. It's a process of fog clearing. It translates a high-energy abstract threat into a series of low-energy, concrete, manageable actions. Some might argue that procrastination can be a useful signal that it's your subconscious telling you the work isn't important, or that you should be doing something else. And sometimes it is. That kind of signal, however, feels like a pull towards a more compelling activity. Destructive procrastination feels like a push away from a feared one. One is guidance from a compass. The other is a reflex from a panic button. Knowing the difference is critical. The compass points to a better destination. The panic button just gets you out of the room you're in, even if it drops you in the middle of nowhere. For most of us, most of the time, the force we feel is the panic button. So we have four mechanisms working in concert: a brain that overvalues the present moment, a nervous system that treats discomfort as a threat, a cognitive bias that treats our future self as a stranger, and a preference for clarity over ambiguity. These forces create the perfect cage. Understanding the design of the lock is the first step to picking it. The control panel for this entire system is your present moment environment and your emotional state within it. The battle is won or lost long before you make a conscious choice about what to work on. The solution is to stop fighting your brain's wiring and start working with it. Give the day trader a better deal. If your brain discounts future rewards, find a way to make the reward immediate. Start a project by tracking your progress on a calendar. Each day you do the work, you get the satisfaction of marking an X. That's a present moment reward. The X is a small profit for today. If your brain flees discomfort, lower the barrier to entry so there is no discomfort to flee from. Use the 2-minute rule. Commit to doing just 2 minutes of the important task. Anyone can meditate for 2 minutes or write one sentence or put on their running shoes. This bypasses the amygdala's threat detection. 2 minutes isn't a threat, but momentum is powerful. If your brain sees your future self as a stranger, make an introduction. Write a letter to your future self describing what you hope for them. Visualize the concrete benefits of your work in vivid detail. This builds an emotional bridge. It makes their future success feel more like your own. And if your brain avoids ambiguity, give it absolute clarity. Define the next step of your project not as an idea, but as a physical action. Write Chapter 1 is a fog. Open the document, set a timer for 25 minutes, and write 400 words on the first topic in the outline, is a clear command. It's a paved road. Procrastination isn't a moral failing or a character flaw. It's a survival mechanism that has outlived its usefulness. It's your brain's clumsy, ancient attempt to keep you safe from discomfort. The question is whether the walls it builds to protect your present self have become a prison for the person you're supposed to become. And this exact same mechanism of emotional avoidance is what keeps us locked in place in so many other areas of life, which is a different kind of inertia entirely.